You want to support Roland Martin Unfiltered? Be sure to join our Bring the Funk fan club. Every dollar that you give to us supports our daily digital show. There's only one daily digital show out here that keeps it black and keep it real. As Roland Martin Unfiltered. Support the Roland Martin Unfiltered daily digital show by going to RolandMartinUnfiltered.com. You can make this possible. Folks, let's talk about Chicago. It's been nearly a year since schools were shut down due to COVID-19. Yeah, I said it, Monique, but some students are slated to return to school tomorrow for the first in-person classes after the city's teachers union voted in favor of reopening agreement with Chicago Public Schools. Months of mulling over safety concerns, both parties were able to agree that the first and second close vaccinations will be provided for all employees, and students will return in phases, beginning with pre-K and special education this week. Kindergarten, elementary, middle, and high school students are scheduled to come back to school in March. Watch this.
We are here to announce the very good news that our children will be returning to in-person learning this week. These past 11 months have been a whirlwind for our entire city, pushing us to limits, not once, not twice, but countless times. We've lost jobs, and we've lost loved ones. We've grappled with losing the certainty and predictability of our lives and been left instead with instability, uncertainty, and we have all been on a nonstop emotional roller coaster that we have individually and collectively tried to navigate a set of circumstances that none of us experienced before.
All right then, folks. You know what? I got to ask you real quick here, Monique. It's been a lot of back and forth. The same thing's happening in Prince George's County right now as well. They're trying to work it all out. From the three of you, is it time for kids to go back to the classroom?
Ooh, I got an email from one of the schools for three children, three different schools. And during the virtual session today for one of my children, the lead teacher said, "Oh, Miss Presley, are you in the room, Miss Presley?" Which, how far away could I be? So I'm like, "Yeah, I'm here." And is your child going to be coming back on such and such a date? And I'm like, "Oh, I was just assuming it was going to get kicked again, because this is like our fourth start date for a hybrid type scenario for that school." I'll say, like I said the last time I was on your show, let's go with the science, because I don't believe that it is failing us. Schools that are putting the proper protocols in place are having very good results, not just for children who we know are less susceptible, but also for teachers. And it has been proven that where schools are doing it safely, the schools are safer than community at large. They're safer than church. They're safer than the malls. They're safer than, the McDonald's that's still open, or the patio cafe. But let's look at schools like DC, and that's not even the worst example. Schools that don't have the financing, the wherewithal to be able to do it properly, teachers are dying. Student numbers are up, and the teacher and staff numbers are up even higher. So I think this can't be a blanket. It has to be either the federal government is empowering and funding and superimposing funding on the states such that they can do exactly what is necessary for it to be done safely with the smaller amount of students in classes, the requirement of masks, the requirement of testing where testing is necessary, the low number of staffers, the vac systems, because the two of my kids that are in hybrid, they've spent a whole bunch of money changing the entire way that the place receives its air filtration system. And my kids say all the time, "Oh no, I need both of those sweaters and a coat," because they keep us like a cold in there, because they've figured out how to stay alive and teach our kids. So if they're not going to do all of those things, then no, because staying alive is more important.
Robert, time for back in the classroom?
Yeah, I'm uncertain on this, because we just had another, I think, 2 teachers and teacher aides in Cobb County who died recently here in the metro Atlanta area. And I understand I understand parents' concerns. I understand the need to get students back in the classroom. I understand the dangers involved with having them outside of it. But I'm thinking of it from the perspective of a school employee. And do you really trust the same school district that will not supply you with markers and magic markers and pens and paper, where you have to reach into your own pocket to provide supplies for students? I know teachers who bring children's laundry home to wash their clothes for them, bring food for children. All the things that teachers are doing already. So to trust school districts to put in the type of health and safety measures that the NFL has not been able to do, that Major League Baseball has not been able to do, that the NBA has not been able to do, that Congress has not been able to do, that the White House has not been able to do, I would have serious concerns and trepidation if I was a teacher going back into that environment, because again, you're not getting the same kind of health care that these multimillionaires who still haven't been able to deal with this pandemic are able to do. So we have to really follow the science, not rush these things, understand the dangers involved by not going back, but also prioritize the teachers and the staff members and their lives and their livelihoods, because at the end of the day, they have families they would like to go back to also. So let's not rush this.
Mustafa.
Well, this is a tough one for me. You know, my little niece and her brother just had COVID just a couple of weeks ago. So, you know, to have them be in a situation like that, or others, I should say, to be in a situation where they might get infected, you know, is really tough. I'm just like everybody else. Everything I do is grounded in the science and policy and the law. And, you know, until we make sure that we have the infrastructure in place to make sure that folks are protected. And that infrastructure is beyond what's going on in those four walls of that school. You're also talking about bus drivers. You're talking about a number of other folks who are part of the educational system who could possibly be, exposed and infected. You know, they have to make sure that they have the protections in place as well. So, you know, no two schools are the same. So if we can make sure that the resources and the infrastructure and the science says that it's safe, then I think we're moving in the right direction. And also, I would be remiss if I didn't say, you know, we also got to address the broadband issues if students are staying home, because we got far too many kids of color who can't even learn because they don't have the infrastructure in place.
Absolutely. All right, folks, back to our Roland Martin Unfiltered video in just one moment.
It's time to be smart. When we control our institutions, we win. This is the most important news show on television of any racial background. Y'all put $2, $3, $4, $5, $10, $15, $20, $30 on this and keep this going. What you've done, Roland, since this crisis came out in full bloom. Anybody watching this, tell your friends. Go back and look at the last 2 weeks, especially of Roland Martin Unfiltered. I mean, hell, go back and look at the last 2 days. You've had sitting United States senators today, Klobuchar and Harris. Whatever you can bring to Roland Martin Unfiltered to support it, please do, because this information may literally save your life.
Watch Roland Martin Unfiltered daily at 6 p.m. Eastern on YouTube, Facebook, or Periscope, or go to RolandMartinUnfiltered.com. Support the Roland Martin Unfiltered Daily Digital Show by going to RolandMartinUnfiltered.com. Our goal is to get 20,000 of our fans contributing $50 each for the whole year. You can make this possible. RolandMartinUnfiltered.com.